It's time for Penguin Speaks.
Hello everybody, Penguin here. Got a couple news stories that I found yesterday while browsing the internet, and one of them's kind of funny, one of them's really sad, and the last one are local heroes. So here we go. First one that's funny, Hamden, Maine. Some hikers were in the woods. Now normally in the woods of Maine you have to be aware of bears, wild animals, things like that. But these hikers stumbled upon something they would have never expected. They found a naked woman tied to a tree. Yeah, tied to a tree. And they immediately called the police, who got there really quick. And as it turns out, they stumbled upon a fantasy sex act. Now the guy was nowhere to be found, but he probably ran off when they heard the hikers, but she couldn't run because she was tied to a tree. Unfortunately, they didn't get to do the deed because the police got there so fast. So you never know what you're going to find in the woods of Maine. Secondly, we have a sad one. And yet this was yesterday in Jackson, Mississippi, Madison County. And a woman parked her car outside of a Kroger grocery store. And she went in to get some stuff, and she left the car running. Well, she left her 6-year-old in the back seat because he was sleeping. The car drove up with 3 guys in it. One guy got out, stole the car, sped off. He came out, of course the car was gone, her child's gone, so they did a massive Amber Alert and a search for this child and the car. 9 hours later, the car was found in a ditch up the highway. I guess it was close to like 15 miles away. And when they found the car, they found the child in the back seat, and he was shot and killed. The good news is they have all 3 of the people who did this, and they're all being tried for capital murder, first-degree murder. So they'll spend at least the rest of their lives in jail. I don't know if they have an execution law in Mississippi or not, but it just makes you wonder. I mean, what has a child done? Even if you stole the car, drive to the other end of the parking lot and let him out. I mean, do something so that he has a chance to live. I mean, what was the purpose in killing him? What would have been grand theft auto has now turned into murder. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what is wrong. A lot of the youth of this world, and I say to youth, I'm 47 years old, and people younger than me are youth. So they were, I believe, in their early 20s, the people who did this. The rest of their lives were ruined because of a stupid thing they did. It just doesn't make any sense why somebody would do that. Lastly, we have local heroes. There were 2 kids, teenagers, riding on their ATVs in the woods on trails. They came across an SUV. Well, the windows were smashed out, so they investigated, looked around, and when they looked inside, they saw a Sam's Club card, and it had a name on it. So they did some research on this name, and they found that his name was Edwin Kosick, and he was a judge in their area, but he had been missing, reportedly missing, for 3 or 4 days. And they went home, told their parents, who in turn called the police, dialed 911. Police got to the scene. After the police got there and questioned the kids who found the car, they left. They were told to leave the area. And the police did a search, and they actually found the guy not too far from his vehicle. He was alive, but been lost in the woods for a couple of days. I don't know if they didn't say if he'd been on the ground for a couple of days, but that's where he ended up, and that's where he'd been missing for a couple of days. So they got him to the hospital, and he's expected to fully recover. I'm not sure what the extent of his injuries or anything were, but if it wasn't for these kids, he probably would have died. And they're being viewed as local heroes, so that's kind of a good thing. At least some of the youth still has the ability to do the right thing. They didn't find credit cards and go and try to use them or whatever. When they found out who it was, they actually tried to do they did the right thing, and they found out who he was and why he was missing. So good news out of all this. I just want to share these stories for you because they were the ones that really kind of made me think yesterday. So anyway, that's going to be it for this little short portion. I will do some other videos today. I've already done one video, and it's in the process of being processed. So this is Penguin Speaks. Be somebody important. Be yourself. Peace out.